Hi, my name is Chanel with Define Your Glow. Thanks for being here tonight. I was inspired just by inner nudge per my guides to do an oracle reading this evening. I'm going to keep it kind of general because I do want it to reach out to a lot of people, because I'm getting a lot of the same questions from different people, different walks of life, different parts of the world, totally different lifestyles, but they all have the same questions. How do I change my situation? Why don't I have enough money? Why are things the way they are? I have goals, I don't have time to achieve them. I'm not happy in my job, I'm not happy in my marriage. There's just a lot of confusion and a lot of discomfort lately in the world, for sure. We've got a lot going on, and it's an uncomfortable place right now. We're being forced to stay home. We're being forced to wear these ridiculous masks that instill the fear of this illness getting into us. And, necessary or however you feel about them, they're uncomfortable. It's not something we're used to. And then there's we're at home and we're stuck at home. Our kids are at home. The social aspects of our lives have been removed, and it's causing us to be very uncomfortable right now. And we still can achieve our dreams. We still can work towards our goals. We just have to be more creative. So being uncomfortable right now and being in that place of like anxiousness is okay, because it's forcing you to be creative. Everything that's going on is meant to be. You are in the right place at the right time because you're living through your own process that the divine has put in front of you. And the only thing you can control is how you react, and how you react and how you handle it. We're all uncomfortable. We're all in really weird places right now. And that's okay, because we're going to be more creative. We're being forced to think outside the box. We can't stop dreaming just for the sake of not being able to live the way we're used to living. If anything, we can dream bigger, because now we're being forced to live differently, which may open up newer opportunity for doing something different that we would have never thought about had we not been stuffed in our houses and told to stay there, right? So change your perspective on what's going on in life. And I don't mean to sound disrespectful to a person's space and what they have going on. It is a very rough situation. There's a lot of different circumstances for a lot of different people, but people are feeling like they can't do anything, or they have to quit or give up or walk away from something that they loved, and they don't. It's just a time to be more creative, and a time to think outside the box, and a time to be okay with being uncomfortable, because it's part of the process that you're learning and growing from. And if you can learn and grow when you're uncomfortable, imagine what you can do when you're comfortable and you're in a place where you like the way things are and you're happy with what you have. It's not a matter of you can or you can't. It's just a matter of how are you going to do it. So I wanted to do just a general oracle reading just to calm everybody down, bring a little bit of light to your situation, maybe find a little bit of guidance, maybe find a little clarity in your path, because we all feel boxed in. I mean, there's people that they're not ever home because they traveled for work, or they had long days at jobs, and now they're at home 24/7. It's a transition, and kids are at home. They're not at school. Our whole social aspect of life has been drastically either removed completely or changed, and we didn't have any part of that. We didn't have a say. It was just like, this is what you're doing, and we had to react. And there's a lot of really low vibrations going on right now. I don't like going to the store right now. People don't say hi anymore. They don't hold the door for you. They run from you if you come near them. They look down. They look depressed. They don't look like they want to be there. And I miss talking to the produce guy. I miss nodding and smiling and saying hello to people in the aisles. And I miss, can I help you get that jar off the shelf? To the little old lady or little old man that can't reach something. And I did it the other day, and the person looked at me like I had spit in their face. And they were like, no, I'm okay. And it was just like, this is so unfortunate. There has to be a way for us to live in a higher vibe, even though we're in a very, very low vibrational situation. We still can raise our vibe. That's our choice. That's up to us. we can raise our vibe and we can find the positives in what we're in. There always is something better around you. You just have to shift your perspective to see it. So I'm going to do an oracle reading today, and I'm hoping it gives you peace. It helps you find an opening in your life that you can walk through and make a change that you've been wanting to change. We're not trapped. We are in a moment of time where we are pausing, and the purpose of that is to learn more about ourselves, learn more about our situation, reassess our lifestyle and how we lived it. The one thing I do love to see that makes me really happy is the remodeling and the fixing up and updating people are doing on their homes, because now they have time. That makes my heart sing, because people are utilizing their time to make their living situations better, whether they're painting a new room or they're adding on to the basement or whatever. I love that when I go into Home Depot at 9 o'clock at night, it's packed. And I'm thinking, I just wanted to get paint and everybody's here tonight, and I like that. It's neat to see. So just for my personal preference, I just want people to still be able to find happiness in what's going on. I don't want them to settle for the way situations are right now. I certainly don't want them to think that this is the new normal. I want them to still work towards getting back to how we were. But because of where we're at now, we don't have a choice in a lot of things, but we do have a choice in how we feel and how we react. So I would love to see more people somehow find a way to be happy and somehow find peace in this and stop saying they don't have time. Make time. If you want something, you have to make time for it. Time is something that is in your control, and you can make it work in your favor if you want something bad enough. When you say you don't have time, all you're saying is I'm not ready. Or I don't have time for that. It's a fear. It can be a fear thing sometimes too. There's a lot of different reasons, but really truly, if you want something, you will make the time for it 100%. So if you really truly want something, just step back in your life and take time. You have it. You have that extra time, and just evaluate what you're doing and where you are and what you like and what you don't like and what habits need to change to give you more of what you like and take away the don't like part of your life. So I'm going to go ahead and do a full reading tonight. It's the Energy Oracle deck, and there's a guidebook, but I'll also take a look at the pictures and kind of just more or less do it intuitively. But I just feel like we need guidance. Everybody's feeling lost and frustrated. Some people are feeling overwhelmed, like they don't have enough time. Other people are feeling like they have too much time and they're falling into these depressions because they're not being able to fill their day. And so what's happening is there's people out there that have been keeping busy their whole life, and they've never had to worry about what happened to them in their past. And now their life is slowed down. Maybe they're unemployed now and they used to work, long weeks or long hours every day, and they never had to worry about healing. Now they're home and they're not working, and now they start thinking and stuff starts surfacing from their past or traumas, and it's pulling them down, and they're kind of getting sucked in to their past or their issues that they never healed or released, and they're starting to think stuff and circle. There's just a lot of different things going on. So I'm hoping with this reading tonight that it gives you some clarity, it gives you some guidance. If you feel like this is connecting and you'd like to schedule a Reiki session, maybe reset your energy, maybe realign your chakras, definitely message me. We can do that. My Facebook page is Define Your Glow, and you can message me through there. Or if I do this reading and it kind of connects with you, but you're not really sure, you want to do another oracle reading, I can do that as well. I do offer intuitive Reiki exercises as well, intuitive Reiki sessions, where we look into your energy, and I intuitively tap into different traumas or different times in your life that shifted your energy, whether it was a positive issue or a negative, and I can find those moments in time, and we can bring those forward and we can release them. We can look into the energy on a spiritual level, but we can also look and see if it's caused any physical illness in your body as well. So we can go through all that. If you'd like to schedule that, just let me know. And I'm going to go ahead and just welcome in the energy of spirit. And if you're watching, just take a minute to just take a nice deep breath and just inhale and exhale. Just feel spirit energy just bring into this space. And just be open and ask for clarity. Ask to hear a message that will resonate with you, to help you understand why your situation is the way it is, and maybe get a little clarity in how to fix it, or maybe get validation into what you're doing and why. And just set that intention with spirit right now. Just take a minute to be like, seriously, what's going on? I need clarity, or I have clarity, but I want to know where I'm going, or I'm completely lost. Help put me back on my path. Help me understand. And just set that intention with spirit. Just take a minute right now while I draw these cards and just talk to spirit, talk to your higher self. Ask questions. They'll hear you and they'll answer too. Okay, and I drew 3 cards. I drew them all face down. I don't look at the cards. I shuffle them face down, and then I set the intention and allow the energy of the cards to flow. I have some beautiful crystals with me as well to help generate the energy of spirit and help bring them in, and just kind of allow just clarity and intention to just flow through this. Oh, yeah, so Spirit's here because this card I feel is validating our current situation. I'm going to get the guidebook though. I have not drawn this card before, but it's very clear. It has a lot of really good messages in it. Just looking at it, the overall message is more validation, but there's a lot of promises in here, good ones, all tied up. Yeah, pretty much. That's us. We're all tied up. Stay home. You can't go anywhere. But what I love about this is, yes, she is tied up, but there's foliage, there's plants all around her, which is a sign of abundance and prosperity. So I feel like this is tied up to force us to think and be creative, open up our minds. What are our possibilities? Yes, we are in a place of discomfort, of confusion, and what the heck is going on. We're tied up. However, we still have a mind, we still have ability to think, we still have ourselves, and we can grow and adapt to our situation so that we can change it and make it work in our favor. But this being all tied up, it's a transformation card as well. There's butterflies throughout the card, which you can see right here. And then there's one down there as well. The wings are open. And she has the bonnet like over her head. And what I like about this though, is she's not looking too uncomfortable. Usually when you're tied up, you're in a panic, you're kind of screaming, it's not great. And she's just kind of smiling like, yeah, I got this. It's going to be okay. So I'm going to get out the guidebook as well and read and see what the book has to say, because there's a lot of messages in here. I'm actually curious as to why. I feel like the bonnet has some significance too, because it's covering her head. I feel like it's a spiritual thing because there's the crown chakra is on top of the head. For those of you who are not familiar with Reiki or energy work, the crown chakra is on top of the head, and hers is kind of covered, but it is covered in a white cloth, and it's got a lot of the Reiki colors around it, especially the color purple, which is the color of that crown chakra. So I feel like this is going to be something about connecting with spirit, just kind of opening up. Receiving this card represents a situation in your life where things seem to be severely stuck. We just talked about this. A major drama may be going on around you, stopping you from moving forward. Or it may be that some technicalities are blocking your way. Perhaps you're waiting for a contract to be signed or an agreement to be made. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to mean physically a contract. This could be like a soul contract. This could be a life contract, a commitment you're wanting to make, and you're waiting for that validation to happen. You're waiting to move forward in that time. And it says, whatever is holding things up, the restrictions may be feeling quite oppressive at this time, and that's okay. Look at your life and see how you can be your own sailor. Are you tying yourself up in some emotional anxiety or in a negative habit that you refuse to deal with? So if so, it's time to cut the vines and make some serious changes now. You needn't live in the self-imposed jail any longer. So this card is also saying, like, tying ourselves up with our thoughts, not just life and how things are going on around us. This is like, is your thinking tying you up? Are you literally thinking yourself into a corner because you're saying you can't do that right now? I don't have time. I work from home now, so I'm really busy. I'm overwhelmed. And you're making all these excuses. That's all stuff that just ties you up. Instead, what are you thinking that's going to allow that energy of want to release and open up those channels so that it flows through you? It opens up your mind, it opens up your thought patterns, and it helps you change habits in your life so that you can change your life in general. The only way to make changes is to change the habits that put you where you don't want to be. We all do it. We have those daily habits. They're terrible for us, but we don't realize it till we're unhappy. And a lot of the unhappy we're experiencing right now is because we had to make changes we didn't want to make, which made us do things we didn't want to do, which created habits that we now have that are making us uncomfortable, and we're not aware of it. And the only way to be aware of it is to look within and then reflect back on your life and look at how you've been living the last couple months, maybe even just the last year in general. Where have you been tying yourself up with your thinking? And what are you going to do now to untie those vines that you wrapped yourself up in with those negative thoughts? So this is a beautiful card because this is all on you. It's all about your thinking, how you're living, how you're reacting, how you respond when things come to you when you're not ready for them. Do you think negatively and you tie yourself up? Or do you think positively and you cut the line and you're free? You have your freedom of thought, you have your freedom of choice, and then you can make your life the way you want it, just starting by your thoughts. You know, we can't all have it now. It'd be nice. Oh well. We got to think about it first. Then we got to put a plan together. Then we have to move forward. Oh, and while all that's happening, we're having stuff thrown at us that says, go here, go there, do this, do that. And suddenly we think we don't have time. We do. The distractions are just steps to learning and learning to make a change or shift and change our habits so that we can get more from what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to go into the next card. Spirit is definitely here because I just talked about this earlier and you guys saw me shuffle the cards, but I feel like this is almost creepy because I mentioned this earlier about us having the ability to make our own choices, our own personal preferences on what we want to do, where we want to go. And this card is one of my favorite cards to draw because it holds us accountable and it basically calls us out. Like Spirit's a funny thing because we kind of want to blame Spirit or ask questions like, well, it's not my fault. I did the best I could. I went to work every day and I saved money and now I'm broke and I don't have anything. Or it's not my fault. I helped them and I did this best I could do. And now they moved and I don't know what I'm doing. And, family this and family that. And I did everything. And there's always that victim type mentality. And the universe is always like, no, you chose to think that way. You chose to make those decisions that put you in that position that made you uncomfortable, made you feel unappreciated, or made you feel like a victim. You know what I mean? Every decision you made and every step you took put you where you are. So if you're not happy, the universe is like, well, we got your back. We can fix it. But you have to change your thinking and you have to change how you react, period. So with that, the card that came through, door to healing, personal healing and happiness. It's your door. It's personal healing and happiness. And with this card, it has so much promise of Spirit in it because there's a dove right smack in the middle of the door and there's a big rainbow that goes across the back. So it's basically like, here's your door. Are you going to stay inside of it and just look out into the view and then let fear take over and not move forward? Or are you going to move forward and head towards that rainbow? The dove is on the other side of the door, which is Spirit, just kind of like a divine energy. But look at all the foliage around the door. That's prosperity. That's abundance. And then, of course, the flow of water. Be water. Water's freaking amazing. Be water. It turns to steam. It freezes. It flows. It can get through any structure over time. You have waves that make crevices in rocks. They make caves. because over time they're beating and pounding against the stone. Rivers, the only way to stop a river is to build a dam. Be water. There's so many different ways that water gets around obstacles. So be water, and that's where that comes in. On this card, there's a river flowing, and there's the waterfalls through here, and then there's the pond, and then it goes back. So it's a beautiful card, and the door is wide open. There's colors of gold all through it, which is your energy of just the divine spirit being in your space. It's just so beautiful. Like I am like, if you just sit back and just breathe, just be like, hey, thank you, spirit. They're here. You will feel them. Those goosebumps that when you finally feel relaxed, you're like, and you can like put your feet up. That's spirit. They've got you. It's okay. But you are responsible for your choices and how you move forward. And this card's letting you know that this is the door to your happiness, your personal happiness and healing. So it's the healing, I believe, comes in with how you've lived before, how you've thought, the thoughts that you've fed yourself, but also finding happiness in that, because healing is really hard because we have to admit certain things we don't want to admit to. It may not even be a mistake, but it's something happened that hurt us, that made us have to heal. And the only way to heal is to look back at that very situation and be okay with it. Be okay with maybe even if we didn't react well or we didn't handle it well and made a fool out of ourselves, whatever. We have to be okay with that, and we have to accept that person, ourselves, how they lived and reacted in that moment in time. And the people that were around us that hurt us or maybe made the situation worse, we have to be okay with them, and we have to release them and be okay. That situation as a whole was a learning process. That was an energy shift in our life, and we have to be okay with how the energy shifted, even if it was negative and it caused us to go down a path we didn't want to go down or be uncomfortable for a period of time. We have to accept that, be okay with it. That's part of the healing process. And then once we heal, it raises us up so that situation never happens again. We don't repeat that cycle. We don't recycle garbage. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, physically outside in the world, please recycle your energy and all your garbage that you've lived through and you've been through. Change your habits so you don't recycle it. You want to let that go. Change your habits, change your thinking, change patterns in life. Simple stuff. Take a minute to breathe. Maybe every now and then just step outside and get some fresh air, Open your windows in your house and let that air come in, even if it's cold out. I just had someone say the other day, well, I can't open my windows, it's cold out. And I was like, that's the best time to do it. The air is cold. Open up your windows and just take a deep breath and let that air blow through the house. Get that stale air out of there. Shift that energy, raise that vibration, and then close the windows up, turn on your heat. It's okay. I mean, if you're in a place that's cold, it's okay to open your windows still. That fresh air, it'll always be a win. So the door to personal healing and happiness. I'm going to go to the guidebook and see what else there is to be said about this card. I touched up on quite a bit because we have the abundance and the prosperity with the vine around the door. We have, of course, the dove. Oh, the one thing I did pick up on this, I never noticed before. And this to me, this feels like future almost. Like if you walk through this door and you find your happiness, see the peacock? That's a spirit animal. And sometimes this can be a spirit animal, meaning like your ego is kind of taking over, like you're peacocking all over yourself, like your feathers, like, yeah, peacock. I think in this card, it's a positive thing. You're going to get to flash your colors. You're going to get to shine your light, and you're going to get to be that person that you want to be. You have to walk through the door, though, because the peacock is on the other side of the door, right by the water. There it is right there. And it's on the other, and it's right underneath the rainbow, too. So you have to shine your light. But in order to do that, you have to walk through the door. You have to make those changes. You have to persevere through discomfort and challenges to make you a person that you can fan out those feathers, shine those colors, and be proud of that moment. And that moment in time when you realize that you did it. You got through it. This card is harboring a positive change. The beautiful light-filled door opens up onto a lush, rainbow-lit spring field of lotus flowers. Whether you're working on some inner healing, such as breaking an addiction, or looking to make external changes, such as finding a new place to live, this card signals that your life is opening up and new opportunities are about to appear. The changes you've been working on are ready to blossom with wonderful results. So make sure you see your personal intentions through with continued action and optimistic expectations. So this is where thought and action come into play and are very important. Keep it positive, but also keep it real. You don't have to be telling yourself wonderful things, but what you can do is tell yourself the truth and do it in a way that the delivery to yourself allows you to feel positive and it raises your vibe. We aren't here. Struggling is a part of life, but it doesn't have to be a way of life, if that makes sense. We aren't meant to live constantly forever in struggle and being unhappy and uncomfortable. But we are meant to have those experiences to allow us to understand who we are and what we're made of. And sometimes the harder things are, the more clarity we have on just how strong we are and how we can get through things. And this card is basically starting, like, it's almost kind of like your hard work's going to pay off. Good things are coming. Keep going. This isn't a time to just sit back and pout and not be happy where you are. Be happy where you are, and then be okay with wanting more or wanting to do more, but be ready to work and have to make decisions and be accountable to what you need to do to get to where you want to go. So this is the door to personal healing and happiness. Heal. If you can heal as you move forward, your happiness will be that much greater. So that's where your Reiki practitioner comes in. Call me. We'll find your places of healing so that you can move forward and find your happiness, and you'll know that it is your happiness. It is meant for you. It is your gift from the divine for all that you've been through and all that you've done. You will find your happiness, I promise you, but you have to move forward and you have to create habits that place you in the light of whatever it is you're wanting that's going to make you happy. We all have different things in life that we want, right? But there are a lot of people that are buying homes and selling homes and making really big shifts, which is wonderful, but it is also very stressful. So balance that out, but heal as you move forward. It'll make that happiness when you get there all the more surreal. Okay, third and last card. Oh, I love this card. Cornucopia. This is such an awesome card because it's all about like harvesting and reaping, and what it's like all about your hard work. I'm actually going to read it right from the guidebook because the book explains it perfectly, but this is such a good card. It has a really good vibe. It's got all the feels to it, like with that you're going to be okay. Because unfortunately, there are people out there that are in really unfortunate circumstances, and they've accepted that as that's their way of life. That's how they're supposed to be. Where they're at is where they're always going to be. And I refuse to believe that. And it bums me out to see people who are openly unhappy and in really unfortunate circumstances, and they're just like, meh, it is what it is. It's like, not really. Think outside the box. Come on. Do something cool that'll make you feel awesome. It's okay. It's a really good feeling. You know what? We all get there eventually, but we're not meant to be miserable. And this card is letting us know that. This is the validation card that we are meant to find our personal joy. We all have an inner joy. Some of us aren't aware of what it is yet, but we all have that inner joy, that inner desire to have that one thing that makes us truly happy. And this is the cornucopia card. And of course, a butterfly right in the top. It's a transformation card. The energy is shifting. You are becoming something greater than you were. This is usually what I like about this too, is it's usually become something that you didn't even know you were capable of, but you really start to see your true potential, which raises up your vibration. It raises up, the pride factor as well. You start to become proud of yourself. You're doing more, you're becoming more. the transition is taking place, and you're slowly transitioning into somebody different, which is amazing. And then of course you have the harvest. You have all that fruit and all that abundance, the gold. I mean, spirit is just all over this card. I kind of like to see it because all the abundance and the fruit and the harvest, like the hard work, or excuse me, the reaping of all of your hard work, it's outside of the forest. Like the forest is behind it. So it's like you've made it through the forest. You've made it through those times of like, where am I going? What am I doing? And you're like weaving it out of trees and darkness and, you know, whatever. And then you're out, and then you're reaping the rewards of your hard labor. Let me get out the guidebook too, though, and read that, because it's really cool. An abundant harvest and great blessings are awaiting you, and you may even find all of your wishes be fulfilled. This cornucopia of gifts in the universe can come in the form of financial riches, job fulfillment, romance or love, maybe possibly all of the above. When you receive the cornucopia card, you need to know that you've done important work and it's about to pay off. The seeds you've planted in your energy and in your life are ready to be harvested in some significant ways. Get ready for a great feast of abundant value is being prepared for you now, and Spirit is applauding all of your hard work. So, yeah. So I'm going to go through all of the cards just to kind of get one big message through, because they all are linked in so many ways. And it depends on where you're at in life and what you're thinking or wanting that'll shift the meaning of these cards. But the overall goal is to think positive, make decisions and changes, and you'll reap the reward of your hard work. But you have to keep it positive, and that is so hard for some. Like, I mean, there are times in life where it's like, I have to be happy about this. I have to be thankful, really. It's hard. It's unsettling, and it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be unhappy, and it's okay to even be ungrateful sometimes. It's part of creating who we are. So the first card we had, tied up. This was all about like tying yourself up with your thinking, or feeding yourself thoughts that aren't going to get you to a higher vibration or get you to where you want to be in life. But it's also like being tied up just in life habits. What are you doing in life? How are you thinking that's tying you up? What are you going to do and change in your habits and in your thinking that are going to untie and cut those strings that bind you? What are you going to do different to just let that fall open and let your arms be free and let your mind open and let those channels of energy flow through you as you breathe and allow that energy to flow through you? And, really get it flowing. Let it get into your mind. If you're into Reiki and energy and chakras, fill every single chakra up as you inhale that energy through you, and allow it to just expand your mind and create a positive pattern of thinking so that you can start moving forward and you can untie those thoughts. You can cut those vines that bound you. And then the second card, once you've untied yourself, you've opened up those channels of energy to flow through you. You're now thinking more positive. You're feeling more open and aware. You have more self-awareness of not just yourself, but your space and how you're going to navigate through it. You have your door to personal healing and happiness. It is your choice to walk through it. Walk through it when you're ready. The sooner the better. But with that, if you take your time, as long as you're learning and you're being patient for a reason and you're not stalling because of fear, it's okay to take your time walking through the door to your personal happiness and your healing. A healing process is not a fast thing. It does not happen overnight. Healing happens when you are ready to release it, and you take as long as you need to take, as long as you're not marinating in the negative emotions of whatever it is you're healing. You have to heal and release and move forward, and then make sure that stuff stays behind you. You leave it out in the universe. Bye. It doesn't serve you anymore. Walk through that door to personal happiness. Cornucopia card. It doesn't get any better than this. This is your personal happiness right here. You're going to get all of your harvest, all of your abundance, everything you're wanting, everything you've been working for that maybe right now you feel is totally out of reach. If you keep moving and you keep listening to yourself and you keep your thoughts positive and you always think of the better side of things, You will get there. You will get to your cornucopia. You will get your harvest. You've got your guides around you. You'll get through the woods. You'll come out. Gold light surrounding you. Abundance, money, prosperity, and all of those things that you're wanting will come to you. Now, abundance doesn't always have to be money. It can be abundance of love. It can be abundance of friendship. Maybe your circle of friends are going to shift. Maybe you're in a really negative office environment right now and the people around you just straight up suck. And maybe that's going to change. Maybe you've been working really hard to get out of the position you're in. Maybe you'll get promoted and you'll get put in a different department with better people who are more mature. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of beautiful things that are around us, but so many aren't seeing it because they're polluted with all the garbage on the media. They're polluted with their constant obsession with social media because now that they're home, well, what the heck? Let's get on social media. Let's get on Instagram. 100 selfies later, they haven't done anything different in their day. They've just been on social media. So I encourage you to take this reading today to heart. If you have any questions or you need any more guidance in this, you are welcome to message me. We'll schedule a session and we'll kind of move forward with the energy of this reading. This is such a beautiful deck. It's the tied up card, all tied up, door to personal healing and happiness, and then the cornucopia card. And then if you're feeling like you need to do a healing or you need to do a cleansing of your energy, maybe just realign your chakras. If you're not familiar with Reiki, you're not familiar with the chakra system, but you are feeling like something's off within yourself, maybe you're not sleeping well, or maybe your thoughts aren't controlled and they're just kind of coming at you from different angles, message me. We'll do a healing session. We'll get deep into your energy and we'll take a look at it. And I'll educate you on chakras and energy systems as I go through each chakra. And I'll let you know what I'm doing. You will learn so much about yourself at the end of your session. It'll be amazing. And I also type up my sessions so you have them in front of you written and you can reference back to them. So thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Chanel. My business is Define Your Glow. Feel free to go to Facebook and click like. And also, definitely you will want to check out my blog at defineyourglow.org. I try to keep my writings personal. I try to keep them deep and do things different than kind of what's out there. So feel free to read my blog, and I love feedback, so you're welcome to message me. You also can join my emailing list at defineyourglow.org. I send out, discounts, and I send out different card readings. Sometimes I send out information on crystals. Pretty much anything spiritual and energy, I send an email out on occasion. Usually, I try to keep it around once a week. I'll send out an email just to introduce people to something new, or sometimes I just get drawn to do a card reading and let people know, like, hey, this card came through for you, that kind of thing. I just do whatever I'm drawn to. Spirit's driving my ship, so whatever they tell me to do, I'm like, okay. So anyway, you guys have a really good night. I'm sending you a lot of love and healing, keeping spirit in the space so that you can find clarity in your life and how you're living it. You can be at peace with things and be okay. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you, and I'd love feedback on this reading as well. So I appreciate you very much for being here. You have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.